Democrats right now are in panic mode because gas prices continue to soar, with the national average as of Tuesday of this week sitting at $4.17 per gallon. Now, as our good friend Joshua Holland actually pointed out on Twitter, the media likes to hype the $6 gas, right? Putting pictures of those up, doing stories from gas stations where it says $5.99 a gallon. But the national average, of course, is $4.17, which, as you can tell, is almost $2 lower than that $6 a gallon gas that the media keeps hyping. But nevertheless, even at $4.17, Democrats are worried. Not worried that they're not doing anything about it, although they do have one terrible idea I'll get to in a moment. But they're worried because Republicans have already jumped on this opportunity, and of course they're blaming President Biden for the gas prices. They're trying to say that shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline is what did this, even though, as we all know, the Keystone XL pipeline wasn't even functional. There was nothing flowing through it, and what would have been flowing through it was not gasoline for your vehicle. It was tar sands oil from Canada headed to the Gulf Coast to be loaded up on tankers and sold on the international market. That's where that would have gone had it been completed. It would have created 33 permanent U.S. jobs. Nobody here would have benefited from it. It was a stupid idea. Let's move on. Nevertheless, Republicans are blaming that. Republicans are blaming Biden, even though the President of the United States has no control whatsoever over gas prices. And they're omitting the fact that right now oil companies are watching their profits soar 60 to 80% higher than what they were at this time last year. And that's not a coincidence, folks. There is a massive amount of price gouging happening right now with these oil companies simply because they can. We're also, let's not forget, in spring break season, which means more people driving. And what happens every year right around this time? Gas prices go up because demand goes up. Once again, simple economics. Oil companies look at this, they understand we can raise our prices. People will pay more because they want to travel for spring break, right? All the COVID restrictions have pretty much been lifted everywhere. People are traveling. They're spending money on gas. And the companies always cash in on this. Now, the bigger problem, of course, is that this is being blamed on the Democrats, which is completely unfair, but it's something they have to deal with and they don't know how. That's why they're in the panic mode. So the only plan they've come up with, and we see this at the federal level right now, we've also seen it in some states proposing this, is let's repeal the gasoline tax, at least temporarily. So you can save 15 cents per gallon. Ooh, which means if you fill up your 20-gallon tank, you could save $3 a week. Because the average American fills up their gas tank between 45 and 55 times per year. So even if they were to save $5 per fill-up, that amounts to $275 per year. Trust me, folks, I actually sat and did all this math yesterday. It's nothing. That is a pittance. It does nothing to actually solve or address the problem. What it does do, however, is it starves much-needed programs of that money that they get from the gas tax. Do you know where the gas tax goes here in the United States? The bulk of it goes to pay for infrastructure. Federal infrastructure, roads, bridges, and state infrastructure, roads, bridges, railway, and a decent percentage of it too also goes to public transit. So you're telling me that the Democrats' plan is to starve infrastructure and public transit at a time when we just passed legislation to fix those things. Now you want to take more money out of it so what you did pass doesn't go as far. That is idiotic, just to save people between $3 and $5 per week. That makes no difference whatsoever. But of course they need to pretend, need to show the public that they are doing something. Biden's already called on the National Strategic Reserve to release billions, tens of millions of gallons to be released from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. They're working with Venezuela, but the fact is we can't drill our way out of this problem. And that's the biggest underlying problem. We wouldn't be in this mess had we started to kick the fossil fuel habit decades ago when we were first warned about what it was doing to the planet. Even as we started to see the effects of climate change in the past 2 decades, we could have kicked the habit or at least started to, wean ourselves off of it. Donald Trump in 2020, by the way, and this is totally relevant, pulled back the fuel efficiency standards that Barack Obama had put in place. So yeah, your cars manufactured today are guzzling more gas than they would have had Trump not done that. So there it is. There you have it. That's what's happening with gas prices all over the country. It sucks for us consumers. I'm not going to vehicle shame anybody like I've seen a lot of progressives do. I think that's very stupid. Some people have to have larger vehicles because they have larger families. I'm one of them. Not my fault. Well, kind of. But either way, the president doesn't control the cost of gasoline, but Republicans are blaming him for it anyway, and that is creating major headaches for the Democrats heading into the midterms because they don't have a sound messaging strategy to counter that completely bogus Republican argument. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.